Good day, folks. Hope everyone's doing good today. First off, disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only. The subject I want to touch on today, just going to dip in a little bit to the criminal code here just to show you that these are courts, they're commercial. There's just commercial transactions happening in there. Everything is all in act, whether it's criminal, civil, family, probate. These are all commercial courts. They're all private courts. These uh, these judges or clerks masquerading as judges, justices, uh, even through requests, have completely failed to provide any proof of valid public oath, any proof of insurance, or that they're bonded to secure their performance, which is required pursuant to the Surety Act of Nova Scotia. They're all supposed to post bonds to the lieutenant governor, who is the governor and council when you read through a lot of these acts. But anyways, the governor general's been requested under the Access to Information Act. The general attorney's been requested, and these criminals, which are both attorneys, Arthur J. LeBlanc is the lieutenant governor for the province, and Brad Johns is the general attorney. Is also a lawyer, bar member, law society member, Freemason. He's the one that uh, swears and takes oath to any lawyer being called to the bar in the province. They're all under his jurisdiction because all lawyers take oath to the corporation as far as what they tell us. Once again, they don't provide any public oaths either, which has also been requested. And they don't provide, they are insured through the insurance, Law Society insurance in the province. And they, if required to post personal guarantee, would be through some type of guarantee company, pursuant to the Guarantees Act. Um, anyways, first off, I want to touch on the Republic of Nova Scotia, www.republicofnovascotia.ca, and email republicnovascotia@protonmail.com. Go on, have a look, go on, get signed up, send me an email. Um, we're looking for volunteers for the courts we're going to be holding here, and for sheriffs and deputies. We need to start an election process, so I'm trying to put together a council so we can start structuring a government and a system here. On here, there's a constitution, uh, process to set up sheriffs, elected sheriffs, and the courts. All this stuff obviously can be changed, and I'm sure will be changed. But anyways, it's a start to get these courts going. The purpose of the courts obviously is to bring law back to the land. The Bar Association is a private membership who acts in their own best interests. They are for profit. They are committing crimes against humanity in their private courthouses with in their private star chambers. These are the biggest criminals on the face of the earth, besides the bankers. The bar association member, these lawyers, these clerks masquerading as judges, the general attorney of the province, these politicians act in the best interest of these organizations. Once again, include the bar association, the law societies, the Freemasons, which Brad Johns is a member too, and for other foreign entities such as World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, and the United Nations, of course. Anyways, we need to begin looking out for ourselves here, people, because these things don't. I don't consider them human beings because the shit they do against people, they're complete. I don't even know if they're humans. It's complete nonsense what they think they can do. Anyways, this is I started to go over the other day. This is the Oath of Allegiance Act. So this would be for like politicians, members of government, and possibly judges and lawyers. Anyways, like I said, to get them to provide a public valid is impossible. If anyone could show me anyone that's ever gotten a valid sworn public oath, please let me know. Because, like I said, I've done freedom of information requests and they're still not complying. I do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will truly and faithfully and to the best of my skill and knowledge execute and perform the duties that devolve upon me as a general attorney, including the duty not to disclose or make known without any due authority on that behalf any matter that comes to my knowledge by reason of my holding of that office. So help me God. So the general attorney swears in every lawyer prior to being called to the bar. The general attorney, justice minister of the provinces, which are the attorneys of the province for the government. So the general attorney makes sure that these lawyers swear oath to this private bar, but there's no mention of them making an oath to the public. Okay, they don't represent the public. They don't work for the public. Services such as the public prosecutions is a private corporation under the general attorney. Okay, there's not a division called prosecutions. No, it's public prosecutions because they prosecute the public trust. Okay, the public charitable trust, the all caps name, the unlawful conversion when we were all transferred from a man or a woman, converted over to a legal person, to the name, the all caps name. That is what you're being represented as when you go into the court by a lawyer. You're not represented by a lawyer or represented by a lawyer. You are represented. Corpus Juris Secundum is a law encyclopedia, volume 4, section 7. Attorney-client relationship clearly states that the attorneys act in the best interest first of the courts, which is the bar association, their private association, and then the public, which is the public trust, the public charitable trust that they steal from, and the third is the client. Okay, so they say third, I'm gonna say it's more like fourth or fifth because clearly they're gonna act in their own best interest before anyone else. So these criminals don't take oath to the people. They take oath to their little private bar association. Next I have up here is the Provincial Judge Act, which this is for Nova Scotia. I'm just trying to stay all within one jurisdiction here to keep it simple. But all jurisdictions across Canada, you're going to have the same stuff. They'll name it differently, put it in different acts. They mix shit up, but it's all written by the Bar Association, right? So to some extent, it's all the same fucking codes and statutes and acts. They're corporate codes, statutes, and statutes. Anyways, this oath the provincial judges states, I, Peckerhead of Halifax, in the county of Halifax, make oath and say that I will and truly serve our sovereign lady, the Queen, in the office of a judge of the provincial court. Okay, so they take oath to the sovereign lady, who, there is no sovereign lady. The corporation can't be sovereign. And if you're talking about Mary Elizabeth, she's fucking dead. And she's bloodlines to Vlad the Impaler, the real life Dracula, who's responsible for, they claim, over 80,000 deaths of men, women, and children. So this is who they truly serve. And I will do right to all manner of people after the laws of the province without fear, favor, affection, or ill will. So these are bylaws. They're not any fucking laws. And they call them a judge in their act, but they're really just a clerk pursuant to the Unidroit Treaty, which Canada is a signatory to. So, yeah, they don't take any type of oath to the people. They don't serve the people. It says, will do right in all manner of people. And there is evidence on my even on the website here that they don't. It just shows the type of conduct, how they think they rule the people. They don't. They don't. They're a private corporation, a private association who acts in their own best interest. These motherfuckers are committing bear train malfeasance. They profit and get bonuses for the obviously for the more money they make. They fucking drag people into these courts and against their will and force them into contracts. They're completely breaking any type of law there is, all trust law, fucking the treaties they're even signatories to. These private courts are complete criminal, done with or structured with complete criminal intent. So I'm going to look into the criminal code here a little bit. We'll start off in definitions here because there's a few things I want to show you. The criminal code's a pretty good read. It's fairly easy to comprehend, even if you have no understanding of legalese. It gives you a good idea of the fraud that's going on here. I just want to make sure I'm on the right screen here. Nope. Okay, there we go. So, this is Criminal Code of Canada. First term I want to look at here was everyone, person, and owner. You're going to see this in front of most of their acts. It'll state these terms. And similar expressions include Her Majesty and organization. So this shit applies to, this is corporate, these are commercial courts. This applies to corporations, folks, not to men and women. Okay, right there it says it applies to, because this was written by, for the corporation, applies to the corporation, Her Majesty, and the organizations, the corporations that are bound to their bullshit. Anyways, I'm going to, right here, since I'm on this topic, a document of title to goods includes a bought or sold note, a bill of lading, a warrant, a certificate, or an order for the delivery or transfer of goods or any other valuable thing, and any other document used in the ordinary course of business as evidence of the possession and control of goods, authorized or purporting to authorize by endorsement or by delivery the person in possession of the document to transfer or receive any goods thereby represented or therein mentioned to refer to. So the goods are the people being transferred and being dealt with in these courts, right? We're all considered chattel property. Your children are considered chattel property, and which is evidenced by a certificate, which would be the birth certificate. Moving forward here, justice system participants. You can go and look at this. I'm not going to read them all off, but they include, politicians, prosecutors, judges, witnesses, jurors, police, a person employed in the administration of a court, an employee of CRA, an employee of Canada border agencies. Okay, nowhere in here does it specify that any man or woman is a participant in this justice system. You are being compelled, you are being forced in order to perform, which is against the law. They do use methods such as extortion in order to get you in there, threats of violence. Obviously, they walk around with weapons, and they get you entering the contract this way, right? They enforce their will on you. Like a pig, for instance, will drag you into the jail, leave you there, put you in front of a judge, where they'll leave you locked up forever if you don't sign their piece of paper, if you don't sign the contract to appear later to perform in their fucking little private association acts. Okay, complete fraud. Valuable security, an order, in check or acquittance, or other security that entitles the evidence, the title of any person. Once again, what is that title? It would be the certificate. The birth certificate is a title of a person. The person being the name, not the man or the woman. The person is the corporation, the trust, the name. To a share or interest in a public stock or fund or any other fund or of a body, corporate, company, or society. So interest in a public stock, such as the public charitable trust. This is the public that they take oath to act on the best interest of, which is basically so these motherfuckers get paid, because it was set up and we are the beneficiaries, but they act as the beneficiaries and treat us as the trustees, even though they are the trustees in breach of trust. Okay, they hold everything in trust. They turn around and act as beneficiaries and steal everything. Show me the benefits you get, people. To a deposit in a financial institution. So, pursuant to the Canada Deposit Insurance Corporation Act, this would be the courts. They are a financial institution because they take deposits. Any debenture, deed, bond, bill, note, warrant, order, or other security for money or for payment of money. So, valuable security. Once again, here's a why do you think the cops issue warrants? Let's get paid, motherfucker. They issue a warrant. It gets into court. They administer your security without your consent or without your knowing consent. They compel you, enforce you, and extort you in order to get some type of consent. And then they issue orders. Oh, another valuable security. Okay, so these people are, what they're doing is they create these securities, and then they're being sold, they're bundled up, okay, and then every few months they're handed in and they're given to these LLCs, these lawyers, these law firms, in order to sell these OTC, these over-the-counter stocks on the OTC market. This is complete fraud, folks, and this just shows you how these courts are commercial courts. They're all commercial transactions. A document of title to lands or goods whenever situated. Once again, you're the goods, folks. You're the chattel property. Your children are chattel property. That's why they have the title to you. They have the title to all your properties, and they claim because you abandoned it, they have the authority and jurisdiction over you to do fucking whatever. Also, whenever you hire an attorney, you are considered incompetent, a minor, or drunkenness. A stamp or writing that secures or evidences title to an interest in chattel personal, or that evidence delivery of a chattel personal. Okay, so interest in the chattel personal, once again, is in the public trust. Okay, in that the creation they made. And when you go into the court and they ask you, are you that name? And you say yes, guess what? You are that name. It is presumed you are that name. Even when you show up, you are that name. It's presumed. Admiralty courts are all about presumptions. So you need to remove these presumptions of law. And you can actually go online and look up, do a search on presumptions of law, and there's 12 of them. And it'll break down quite a bit more on some of the fraud that's happening within these private courts. A release, receipt, discharge, or other instrument evidencing payment of money. So once again, the receipt, discharge, the only way to get rid of a debt is to discharge it. So evidence and payment of money, and I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to jump there right now while we're on the subject of more evidence to substantiate my claims that these are commercial courts. Or we'll jump down here too. Let's check this one. This is Form 35 in the Criminal Code of Canada, conviction form. Be it remembered that on whatever day herein called the accused, so this is where you become, I guess, you're compelled to perform as an accused because they force you into their private courts. The accused was tried under sections of the Criminal Code on the charges that they were convicted on the said offense, and the following punishment was imposed on him, namely. 1. That the said accused be imprisoned at Burnside for 2 years less a day. That the said accused forfeit and pay the sum of said amount of dollars to be applied according to law, and also pay to whoever else the sum of however many dollars in respect of costs, and in default of payment of the said sums forthwith, to be imprisoned in the prison at Burnside for the term of 2.5 years or 2 years less a day, unless the said sums and costs and charges of the committal and the conveying of the accused to the said person are paid sooner. Wow, so once again, this is proof that the courts are debtor-creditor courts. Okay, these are debtor prisons. Okay, right here it shows you that they want payment. You make payment, you get out. That's why when you go into these courts, you don't argue with them. Okay, you want to go in there, you want to accept the facts, and you're not accept the facts. Do not accept the charges. Okay, you accept the facts based on that they provide evidence to substantiate all their claims, and there's actually a claimant there, not some lawyer who has no first-hand experience, no first-hand knowledge, no standing, no personal jurisdiction, no subject matter jurisdiction on any of the matters. Okay, lawyers are completely incompetent. These clerks masquerading as judges are complete incompetent because they don't know the first-hand facts, people. This is fraud. Next section, that the said accused be imprisoned in the prison at Burnside for this term of 2 years less a day, and in addition forfeit, pay the sums of however many dollars to be applied to law, and also pay however many dollars, the sum of these dollars in respect of costs, and in default of payment of the said sums forthwith, to be imprisoned at Burnside for 2 years less a day, unless the said sums and costs and charges of the committal and the conveyance of the accused to the said prison are paid sooner. Wow, folks. If I don't know how much more evidence you need, but it's clear right there that they just want to get paid, motherfuckers. You go in there and you argue, you're in dishonor. Okay, you go in there with a lawyer, you have no rights. They're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do. That's why they don't like people like me who stand up against these dirty fucking pigs. These fucking bar members. The Bar Association needs to be abolished. And that is the implementation of the common law courts, is to bring, once again, law back to the land and to hold these people accountable. But because I am 100% sure every one of these bar members are going to be held on trial. They've all caused damages. Family courts, prosecutors, these politicians, attorneys, they're fucking all fucking criminals. And they will, the ones that have wronged me, the probably 40 of them, are all going to be held on trial. We're going to make sure of that. Anyways, this is the value of a valuable security, which was in the definitions there. Where the valuable security is one mentioned in paragraph of the definition valuable security in section 2, the value is the value of the share, interest, deposit, or unpaid money, as the case may be, that is secured by the valuable security. So if there's a penal sum of, say, $1 million that's attached, that's unpaid, you're going into prison a while to pay for that $1 million, the debt that's owed, that $1 million debt. B, where the valuable security is one mentioned, or the definition valuable security in section 2, the value is the value of the lands, goods, chattel, personal, or interest in the chattel personal, at the case may be. So once again, okay, they're putting what's the goods here? You're the goods, you're the chattel personal. Okay, they are issuing securities using your name, folks, administering your trust. Every charge has a penal sum attached to it. So when you go in there and they get you into the contract, they want to get paid. Okay, they don't have these big buildings and these fancy cars and making $500,000 a year plus bonuses. and people think they're paid by the government. These are their own organization. They're operating in securities. They're what's considered an securities intermediary. Okay, what they take all these securities, which include these applications, these orders, everything that was mentioned on the list there, these bills, notes, whatever they have, they bundle them all up and they're sold, or they're given generally, like I said, to a LLC to be sold off on the OTC market. But anyways, just so you know, you're all being traded here, and I know you don't give a fuck. Anyway, Section 7 Criminal Code. If accused not a Canadian citizen. If the accused is not a Canadian citizen, no proceedings in respect of which courts have jurisdiction by virtue of this section shall be continued unless the consent of the General Attorney of Canada is obtained no later than 8 days after the proceedings are commenced. So, if you don't want to be a citizen, folks, why the fuck would you want to be a Canadian citizen? I mean, I have citizenship, but having citizenship and being a citizen are two different things. And we will jump into that a lot deeper on another day. We're getting to the time limit here, but you don't want to be a citizen and you don't want to be a resident, okay, to these private corporations. I'm just going to touch on, just to show you about the word here. Section 283 Criminal Code, abduction. Everyone, as stated in the definitions at the first of the Criminal Code, that everyone applies to Her Majesty, the corporation, and corporations. So everyone, that means these motherfuckers. Okay, they wrote this shit. It applies to them. You just can't write shit and make it apply to people without even any consent or contract or anything. Everyone who, being the parent, guardian, or person having the lawful care or charge of a child under the age of 14 takes, entices, oways, conceals, detains, receives, or harbors that child, whether or not there is an order referred to in subsection 282 in respect of the child, with intent to deprive a parent, guardian, or other person who has the lawful care or charge of that child or the possession of that child, is guilty of an indictable offense to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years, an offense punishable by summary conviction. So in the States, you'll hear them saying a felony. That felony is an indictable offense in Canada, and summary is a misdemeanor in the States. So anyways, just to show you who this applies to, and it applies to these dirtbags, these lawyers, these pigs, these politicians. They work for the corporation, not me. They're being compensated by the corporation, not me. This shit applies to them, not me, and not you too, unless you consent or you want to be a citizen. Section 279, trafficking in persons. Persons, once again, is a corporation, folks. This is all commercial transactions, but you are the signatory for that person, and it is presumed when you go into their courts that you are the person unless you do what's called the removing the presumptions. There's called presumptions of law. You can do a search on it, or I can do a video on it someday, but it's about the presumptions of law, and they make these presumptions. So it's necessary you let them know who you are when you go into them courts, and you want to remove these presumptions. Every person who recruits, transports, transfers, receives, holds, conceals, or harbors a person or exercises control, direction, or influence over the movements of a person for the purpose of exploiting them or facilitating their exploitation is guilty of an indictable offense and liable for imprisonment to life. Oh, bar members, we got some these clerks that masquerade as judges that are gonna be held on trial. Wow. Alan Beijing, and who else do we got? Michael McGaw, David Robertson, Charlene Richmond. There's a whole bunch of these maggots, these low-life maggots, that are going to be spending some time behind bars if they're lucky. Okay, when the people learn this shit and learn the crimes that are being committed against us and our offspring, people, you need to wake up. Okay, these people are committing crimes. This shit applies to them, not to us. I don't traffic in persons. I'm not a human trafficker. Guess who does? The RCMP, municipal police forces, um, and the bar members. These judges, the general attorney, these politicians. They're all these. It's human trafficking. What do you think Child Protective Services is? What do you think the family courts are all about? Trafficking. This complete the government, or these de facto governments with these subsidiary corporations assisting them, are the largest form of human traffickers on the planet. They are the definition of a wrongdoer and a criminal. Next off. Okay, I went through that. And the final thing I want to talk about here is these courts. I have no use for these courts, and a lot of my documentation you're going to see is going to call these repugnants down, these pieces of shit, these clerks masquerading as judges, these fucking attorneys. They're all a bunch of. They have no purpose on this earth except to hurt people. These organizations need to be dissolved and removed. They need to be shut down, period. They're operating, a lot of them, in what was called in the past, special star chambers. This is from the website historicalindex.org. It's just a little bit of an explanation, an unbiased explanation of what these courts were and are. The Star Chamber was a special British court which existed from the 15th through the 17th centuries. The judges in the Star Chambers were appointed by the monarch, with advisors coming from the ruler's privy councillors, which is the same thing. There's the Privy Council with Canada. They claim the monarch, which would be the general attorneys, the lieutenant governors, who are all bar members that are the government. They're acting on behalf of the government, and the system is set up this way. With the private courts, the Bar Association private courts. While the Star Chambers may have been an effective tool for justice initially, it was ultimately used as a tool by British monarchs who were struggling to retain control of the country. And it came to a topic of controversy due to the highly secretive proceedings and summary judgments offered without the mediation of a jury. And as a result, the Star Chamber was abolished in 1641 by an act of Parliament. So these courts, for instance, these family courts are special Star Chambers. They're administrative hearings by these private agents for these corporations. They are secretive. No one's allowed in there. They disclose to the public uncannily what they want. They don't disclose all the everything filed on here, and I can show you evidence of that. But anyways, the monarchs, or these corporations, are losing control of the country because of the actions of these agents. But unfortunately, most don't look at the bar members. They don't look at these judges. They don't look at these lawyers, attorneys, even though they're the ones responsible for all the crimes. Everything else is a guise. All these bylaws written by them, these codes, acts, statutes, are all written by the Bar Association, by bar members. Then the politicians pretend to pass this shit, and the top end of the politicians are lawyers too. And then it goes to the other side where the police, the policy enforcers, enforce these private laws against the people on behalf to get you into where? Into their courts. You get tickets, you go to the court. Family, you go to court. Criminal, you go to court. Okay, and this is all shit where the police direct you to. Why are they directing? Why is every time a pig pulls you over, you have the right to remain silent, you have the right to attorney? Yeah, they want you to have an attorney because they're all on the same side. These pigs are acting on commerce too, and they're fucking way outside their jurisdiction. They're committing so many crimes, they all need to be fucking locked up at minimum. The term star chamber is often used to describe a highly secretive legal proceeding of questionable legality or particularly brutality, referencing the role of star chambers in later years. In the U.S., especially, some trials of foreign nationals accused of terrorist activity have been referred to as star chamber proceedings by people who feel that these trials are too secretive. And once again, all these courts in Canada right now, same thing. Okay, they're doing foreclosures. You cannot do a foreclosure with it under a summary judgment. Okay, and that's what happens in Canada. They close doors. I've got evidence to show. I don't have the judge's name offhand right now. Justice, whatever the fuck they call themselves. But anyways, of him throwing us to the court, going in there over properties with the BMO, and I've also got evidence to show we filed claims against these dirtbags, and everything was thrown out based on rules of civil procedure. And that's rules of civil procedure are bar association rules written by bar association members on behalf of bar association members. So to indemnify themselves and give them some type of legal protection, because these people commit more crimes every day. These guys commit more crimes in one day, okay, and I'm stretching it. It's probably in a half an hour than most people would and even think of in their whole lives. These people are human trafficking, pedophiles. They are sicko motherfuckers. The Bar Association, these police associations need to be shut down. None of them take oath to the people. None of them swear an oath to the people. They swear allegiance to the corporations they serve and to the private societies they serve. Okay, Canada has been taken over by these fucking secret societies, and throughout history they've been banned, even as these star chambers were banned. Private societies, associations, including the Freemasons, were banned. Okay, now Bar Association has their hands in every corner of governments, federal and provincial. And for example, Brad Johns, the Justice Minister, the General Attorney for the province of Nova Scotia, the head lawyer, is a Freemason. Okay, so these people have multiple interests, and it's not to the people. If you can't see their $1 million houses, why down the road there's in Halifax, last time I heard it was 30 tent cities. Okay, there's something wrong here, folks. They don't work for us. They're under no obligation to us. Quit giving them power, quit giving them authority, and take yourselves off the voter list. Once again, www.republicofnovascotia.ca. Republic Nova Scotia at protonmail.com is the email. Send an email, get signed up, check out the site. Thanks for watching, folks. I'm not going to go any further. I'm way over my time limit here. It's just there's so much information to go through. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Have yourselves a good day. Take care, and we will catch you on the rebound. Thanks.